I'm Shawn Michaels, bitch. I'm old and I'm fragile. Oh no. Oh fuck you. Kane. Yeah, let's get it, boy. Why do you think Kane's called? Shawn Michaels called Mr. WrestleMania? Oh, I'm gonna recreate the what's it called match? In Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia?
Yep.
What's Saudi Arabia?
That's another country.
Roman Reigns was at Saudi Arabia yesterday.
He wasn't in Saudi Arabia yesterday.
And who was it?
Nobody. Yesterday wasn't wrestling.
No, you was playing it.
I wasn't playing this yesterday.
Ethan was here, and then said, "Can you play wrestling?" And then he said, and then he did it, and then someone else got into the match, and at 5, he then win. Who was that? I want who's that? I think to Sky High. I think to Sky High. Ooh, that team. Yeah, team.
No.
Yeah. Team. No! On win. When you said team.
Uh-oh.
So one! Yay! Change is stubborn. For one thing is stubborn. For one thing is stubborn. Yay, team! That's it! Daddy, Team Randy just do that too and have that one diamond chain ring.
Uh-oh.
What? Yeah, that's what.
Got you, bitch.
No! Jeez. No.
Coming back into the ring, back to the action.
King win. King. How about woman ranks for 16? They want woman ranks and King is Samuel, right? No. Yeah, one and one and one and one. That means two. No. Let us have a fight. Two.
Can't do it. Leave me alone. Go there, bitch. Kick out, bitch.
What was kick out mean? What's kick out mean?
A kick out means you kick out from the pin.
And after King is supposed to, who's that? Who is standing up? Who's that?
That's, uh-oh. It's the real one. It's the good one. Oh, I'm about to kick your head off, bitch. Yeah.
How about King is supposed to?
No, the winner got to go against another person.
I don't want Shawn Michaels.
Shawn Michaels the best.
I like King.
Triple H and Shawn Michaels versus Kane and The Undertaker.
Who's Undertaker?
Kane's brother.
How about
Wait, shut up.
Versus
Be quiet.
Undertaker?
Be quiet. Looking for Saudi Arabia. I'm going to make it legit. Legit.
What's that? Legit. What's legit? What's legit?
Legit. Try to.
Legit. Oh. Legit jump down. Legit jump down.
You better watch it.
Watch my mouth.
Yeah. Or it gets washed out.
I don't know where it gets washed out now. I saw King is versus Undertaker. About Undertaker. It's who's Undertaker?
You'll see.
How about him and Undertaker?
No.
Right.
I'm going to show you something, dummy.
Undertaker, and
Shawn Michaels.
Undertaker.
No, Triple H.
But you said Undertaker.
Triple H, Undertaker's next.
And then Undertaker.
Yeah.
Right. Him. I want Shawn Michaels. 3 Triple H.
Triple H.
I'm 2 Shawn
Kane.
Michaels. What?
Kane. Undertaker.
Oh.
There's all kinds of Undertakers too.
Syndicate. Syndicate.
But you gotta pick him.
Why?
Because that's the one.
I thought you was about to pick Undertaker, Roman Reigns.
Uh-oh. See, I told you they're brothers, huh? Brothers of Destruction. What was that?
What do you have?
That ain't me.
No.
I'm Triple H right now.
Undertaker told you Sandy was big like Hey! How did you do this? Okay,
How'd I do it?
Yeah.
Rematch.
What?
Rematch.
No. How did you pick them back?
It's called a rematch.
No, how did you pick a tank and
I didn't mean for them to win. They're gonna win this time.
Yeah?
Hell no, I'm beating the shit out of them.
You are him?
Shawn Michaels?
Yeah!
Yeah,
What?
because I am.
You said you had Chevrolet!
Hey! Look what you fucking did! You fucked up the game! Now I gotta restart the damn live stream! Thanks a lot. Stop the bullshit! Now I gotta check if the live stream even is still on. Good. You're lucky. Get off me, bitch. I can be. I just, what's it called? I can switch.
I told you. I put chain and Undertaker. I put chain and Undertaker because I like it.
You mean Undertaker?
And Kane.
No duh.
Kane did this. Put him like this.
Put his hand around my throat, yeah.
Like this.
Stop, I'm playing the game.
Like this. So it's the same thing. So it's not your problem. I want Kane.
Ow!
I want Kane. Why did you do that?
Make it easy for me to win.
No, why did you do a bad thing in the match? Why did you do like the thing you do every single time in the living room? Yeah, why did you do it in here? You like it?
Does he have boots?
No, yeah.
Boobs?
Yeah.
He said boobies?
No, boobs. 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 Like. Big, not boobs. Big. Like sister. Like you said, the sister, I'm Brandon, and then they said, which toy do I want? And they said the new Batman, and the new Batman had boots on it. What are those? This Undertaker had boots on.
He got boots?
Well, who?
They both got boots.
Why? Why? He got boots, 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 he got boots. Yay! Ha! Oh! Bye! What do you think is on my face? A titty or I can't hear. Look at the titty stances. Now, you see the titty stances? You see?
I won. Oh, damn.
I told you didn't win.
I super kicked a bitch in the face.
You see that boy? It's that boy I do. It's just a boy I do. Both are George and look, I'm sitting with the tail. You see?
I won.
No? No, you didn't.
Yeah, boy. Nope.
The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, and the King, Triple H. And Triple H helps lead the team to victory.
Oh, what's that?
You know what actually helps the team win? I actually super kicked Undertaker 3 to 4 times in the face.
Why?
Because I wanted to beat his ass.
Don't take him for 1 million.
For 1 million.
Yeah. You said that.
Now it's time for Stone Cold versus.
Who's Stone Cold?
Ow! You'll see. Watch. 1-on-1. But I'm gonna be King Booker versus Stone Cold.
Who's Stone Cold?
You'll see. First, I'm gonna pick King Booker. Let me see.
Did you pick him all alone? Did you pick?
Let's see.
But did you pick him all alone? Oh, pick. Him? 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 Him?
Wait up, yeah. And we're going to an old school arena.
You don't have an old school.
Yeah, we do. Yeah, we do.
No?
You want to bet?
Yeah.
I got a 2005 arena. Sold out 97.
Which one
1996.
About 1994.
1998.
No, 1994.
1997.
No.
Yes.
No. I don't want that.
You gotta look legit.
Why?
Because these two wasn't from that era.
Making his way to the ring from Austin.
Oh, who is that?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Don't see her. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm King Booker, baby.
I thought you were so Boston.
Nope.
Why? I'm so Boston then. I'm so Boston then. No, I'm so Boston. Can I play? Oh. I want to see a dance.
I'm King Booker.
But King Butter is not Tonga Fish or the other one. Oh, King. I guess.
Pretty good, huh?
King Butter is Tonga, huh?
It looks like it, huh?
Yeah. King Butter is
You know where King Booker is from?
who?
Houston, Texas.
Houston, Texas.
And Stone Cold is from Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
But I watch wrestling and then the guy on the floor, him, Steve Boston, and then Steve Boston was fighting the women ranked and women ranked win. But then you pick Steve Boston and women ranked. Why do you have to pick Ton?
What?
Why are you picking Ton?
You say turns?
Yeah.
Because I can.
You don't like it? You don't like to do it? No! 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 I'm winning!
Watch this.
Can women ranks do that?
No.
Why?
I won. Oh, Yeah, back up, bitch.
You win like for real? Mom! Mom! Mommy! Mommy!
Open the door.
Mommy! 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 Mommy!
Close me door.
Hey, buddy.
Thank you.
Internet is here. 15-minute setup with fast and reliable Wi-Fi. No equipment fees, no annual contracts, no price hikes. Just great internet for $50 a month. It's the
Stop.
You taking it out with the obvious or sheer unto. We're not gonna go. No, we're not mentioned. We're able to get it done. It's so good that this was one of the year midway through. I do own the deal if we're able to access this. We know that the victim also expected 2020 and they can cross. Something you're probably not aware of is that they were also added as an official team. And what you need to do is go to your options, go to roster, edit team. And once you reset the teams to default, you will get to see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are right there. Do keep in mind that if you have any custom teams, this is going to reset all of that. So maybe just set everything out manually. This team of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross is complete. It comes with that if you have any custom teams, this is going to reset all of that. So maybe just set everything out manually. This team of Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross is complete. It comes with the entrance and victory scene. So just like we got to see in My Rise. If there are any other hidden features that you ended up finding that were added with this recent update, let me know down in the comments below and we will make sure to cover it. Make sure to subscribe to not miss any of the WWE 2K22 content coming up. Stay savage and I'll official team. And what you need to do is go to your options, go to roster, edit team. And once you reset the teams to default, you will get to see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are right there. Do keep in mind that if you have any custom team options, go to roster.
Yes. Okay.
Team. Once you reset the teams to default, you will get to see Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross are right there.
They won the WWE Women's Tag Team titles on multiple occasions. Byron, you're a WWE-centric like Nikki. What does Alexa find in Nikki Cross to make them good partners? I think Alexa Bliss just appreciates the uniqueness of Nikki Cross. And speaking of unique, I don't think Nikki is what I love. Bliss Cross, Alpha Sauce, greatest team name ever. That certainly sounds like something you'd enjoy, Saxton. Now the Nightmare is ready. Rash, bold, and unashamed. Brutality has arrived. And your opponent first, from Adelaide, Australia, one half the Women's Tag Team Champions. A massive presence. And now we're all set for this tag match and Nikki Cross. That's a great counter there. And takes it. It's a great offensive maneuver. Tagged in action.
Get off.
to a partner. Being carried around with ease. So ruthless. She's taking some big hits here. Removing the turnbuckle pad now. Nothing fancy about that. Goddess in control. She's starting to take over. These two teams have gone to the wall. Of course, they're going to win a few matches. Series of reversals. All 5 feet of fury on the attack here. There's no score like that. Angry Goddess. Takeover. She shoots at the top. Dangerous from the top. Shut up, Byron. Shut up. You gotta wonder how much has been taken out of these superstars thus far. Chemistry on point. Teamwork working sharp. For my money, this is the best women's tag team around.
Go play. Go. Sorry. No. bullshit. Coming back in here today. Tearing my shit off the wall like an idiot. I ought to beat the shit out of you. Can you get out of here? You don't stay out, I'll beat you out. Get out! Saw it YouTube.
Tormented.
Why?
Wanted.
I'm not making this up. Why are you doing that?
Men, only in theaters this Friday.
After Amber finished her time on the stand, a witness from Amber's team was brought in to testify, and so far he's been saying stuff about Johnny that could actually save Johnny.
You never saw Mr. Depp assault or beat Ms. Heard on any occasion, correct?
That's correct. I just would like to clarify, Mr. Preciado, that's a question you already asked me, so you're asking me the same question again about whether or not I witnessed Mr. Depp assault Ms. Heard? No, I have not witnessed that.
He was asked twice, with the question being slightly rephrased whether or not he'd ever witnessed Johnny laying his hand or assaulting Amber, and he said no. Eo Tillett Wright was a friend of both Amber and Johnny back in 2013, and he even lived rent-free in Johnny's apartments for about 9 months. For him stating that he'd never physically seen Johnny abuse Amber helps Johnny a lot. Whatever he says won't have that much credibility since he never witnessed what Amber accused Johnny of doing, even after being friends with both of them for about 2 years.
Johnny, when sober, understood how much influence he had over people, and he was very kind to them about it and generous with talking to them about whatever came up. And he was also, when sober, very
In his statement, Wright stated that for the 2 years he knew Johnny, he was kind, generous, and loyal. He was then asked to elaborate Johnny's behavior, and he said, which are the exact same words Amber used to describe her ex-husband. This shows that there has been some kind of script that the Amber's team is using, but regardless of whether or not there is a script, Wright still confessed that Johnny is a good man.
when sober, he was incredibly lucid and imaginative, and I felt a kindred connection with him and a shared perspective on the world that I've shared with very few people in my life.
Now he kept referring to Johnny when Johnny was sober to put in WW emphases on the fact that when Johnny was drunk he became a whole different person altogether. And to be honest, this might be something that can be used against Johnny in a very negative way. He also explained how generous Johnny would be, where Johnny would let people live in his houses rent-free, Wright included, and was happy having those people around. This is something that is a favor to Johnny because a lot of witnesses have claimed to have had accommodation at Johnny's house rent-free. This includes Amber's friends and Johnny's friends all together. He then went on to an explanation of seeing both Johnny and Amber consuming drugs. He confirmed that he had witnessed Amber using drugs and alcohol, particularly ecstasy. Then he claimed to have seen Depp ingest a number of drugs like cocaine, marijuana, ecstasy, and MDMA in combination with alcohol. He claimed that whenever Johnny was high, he would become mean and paranoid. This isn't a good look for Johnny because Amber has accused him multiple times of becoming violent when drunk and high. Wright then claimed that throughout his stay with Johnny, he never used drugs and alcohol except a certain time where Johnny offered him pain pills because he was going through a rather emotional breakup.
The entire period that I knew Johnny and thereafter, I did not drink alcohol. There was I think, 1 week period during the peak of my breakup, during which Johnny offered me some pain pills to get through the intensity of that situation.
He has explained to the court that he met Johnny through Amber and they immediately hit it off, with Deb becoming a close friend of his, which means that after Johnny and Amber's divorce, he had no choice but stop being friends with Johnny because he was first friends with Amber and met Johnny through her. In some way, this testimony is a significant help to Johnny since it supports the fact that Johnny is a kind and friendly person, just like witnesses have been claiming during the ongoing trials. He said that in a certain dinner, he and Johnny sat across from each other and they just connected, and they even both realized that they loved each other and exchanged numbers. More stuff to prove Johnny is a good guy and a welcoming person. He even said that they chatted a little and he offered Johnny advice and someone to talk to while keeping their space and privacy, and that Johnny really respected that. Johnny even offered him support when he had gone through a breakup and when he was having anxiety issues. At this point, it's not really clear whether he came to witness for Amber or for Johnny, because apart from the alcohol and substance abuse he had seen Johnny use, everything else was a positive for Johnny. He claims that he got so close to Johnny and his family to the point he became part of the family.
His nephew relationship with his kids, and they told me Uncle Io, and
Mr. Tillett, did you ever call Mr. Depp brother, or your brother refer to him as a brother?
yes.
He also explains instances where Johnny was drunk and he became mean. He explains an instant where he found Johnny by the pool drinking whiskey and Amber was in the house crying. While talking to Johnny, he said stuff that was really mean. He also said that Johnny told him of his problem with substance abuse. Stuff like this is what will maybe destroy Johnny, but apart from that, everything this man has been saying has put Johnny in a good light. And even in other words, saved Johnny from the negativity Wright had initially started with. Having a lot of positive stuff being said about him is a big advantage for Johnny and something that should start scaring Amber, because it's actually her witness that has been saying all this good stuff about Johnny. That's it for this video, and thanks for watching.
Oh shit, for real?
When you walk through those revolving doors,
April 14th, 2022, the jury selection for YNW Melly's trial began. YNW Melly, who was locked up for almost 3 years, started making headlines.
Alexa, did YNW Melly get released from prison?
This might answer your question. Awaiting trial for murder.
Lately, with his trial set to start, rappers and media influencers worldwide are already reacting to the possible sentence that Melly might face if found guilty of taking the lives of his friends. According to reports, if found guilty, he would either be given capital punishment or sentenced to life imprisonment. However, despite the possibility of either of the consequences, Melly is in high spirits, and he isn't failing to let his fans know about it. YNW Melly arrest. Florida rapper YNW Melly was arrested in February 2019 as he was charged with 2 counts of first-degree. According to the police report, Melly and another rapper, YNW Portland, took 2 of their friends' lives and made the crime scene look like a drive-by. The victims in the case are Anthony Williams, aka YNW Juvie, 21, and 19-year-old Christopher Thomas Jr., aka YNW Sack Chaser. They were both pursuing rap careers before their tragic and untimely passing. After they passed, Melly paid tribute to the 2 by tweeting, "They took my brothers from me over jealousy." He said the pair want to see me break down and stop, or in jail or a box. A couple of months after their passing, Melly became a prime suspect in the investigations, and he had to turn himself in. He was charged with 2 counts of first degree of YNW Juvie and YNW Sack Chaser, to which he pleaded not guilty. 3 years down, and Melly still maintains his plea of not guilty. Rappers react to the case. When YNW Melly's arrest happened in 2019, many rappers spoke about the situation, and some of them believed that Melly was innocent. But some rappers were very sure that Melly had, in fact, committed the crime. Rapper Kodak Black was one of the very first rappers to speak in support of YNW Melly when the arrest happened. Kodak went on an Instagram live video where he showed his support for Melly.
Yeah, man, free that boy Melvin, man, free Melly. Man, stop playing. We're not playing like that. Oh, we go
Kodak showed more support to Melly even while he was locked up by collaborating on a track with him. Lil Durk also showed his support to Melly in the first year of his arrest. Lil Durk talked to Melly on the phone, and the conversation was shared on Melly's Instagram Live. They didn't talk about the case, but Durk, along with his OTF artist, the late King Von, offered words of encouragement and told the Florida rapper that he would get out of jail soon.
Shit busty, like tippy. Shit busty out of the mouth. It's me.
In the wake of his trial, several rappers have also spoken in support of Melly. Meek Mill took to his Twitter to show his support for Melly while encouraging more rappers to stand up for Melly and
This big cat just went right through the bottom right there, straight in front of me. What is the big one? You have soda.
You're the only one that can come in. You stop.
in his case. Free Lil Melly, he innocent, Meek Mill wrote on Twitter. Let's watch the facts of his case so he doesn't get railroaded. It's in Florida. It may be on TV, Meek said. Meek Mill, who has also been through his own legal battles, which he fought for over 12 years, understands just how crazy it can be to be wrapped up in the legal drama. Since he beat his case, he has been a strong advocate for criminal justice reform. He has also supported Rockefeller's recent move to push for a law that will prohibit prosecutors from using the songs and lyrical content of rappers' music as evidence of guilt and wrongdoing without more. Rapper Boosie also shared support for YNW Melly. I'm in prayers for at YNW Melly tonight. I was in the airport and he paid for my food and magazines and really showed me love and respect. Nah, OG, you ain't paying for it. I'm about to call the prayer warriors for you, bro, Boosie recalled about the rapper's character. Alongside some other podcast hosts, DJ Academics also talked about Melly's sentencing when they had a collab podcast. Now, everyone knows how influential DJ Academics is in the rap industry, and he has stayed on the very edge of Melly's case from the start. So, fans were pretty eager to hear what he had to say concerning Melly's sentencing. Opening the talk show, Myron Gaines shared that he was quite sure that Melly's sentencing could not be avoided. Myron made his point with reference to the evidence brought against Melly. According to Myron, the evidence the law enforcement has against Melly is so tight that there's no other way they could go about the situation. In all, he believes that Melly is done for. On the talk show alongside DJ Academics and Myron Gaines was Lil Boom, who said that if Melly had to plead self-defense, then he would claim that it was his alter ego. However, he believes that Melly will beat the case. On the other hand, DJ Academics doesn't believe that the prosecution's evidence against Melly should be substantial enough to amount to appropriate evidence in this case. He believes that Melly has the upper hand in the sentencing, and he would likely beat the case. Fans' reaction to the case. Right?
This Silverado keeps me connected and in control, and this touchscreen is my command center.
The Silverado LT, find new control, find new roads. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer. When industry news breaks, we're on the front lines, digging into the issue.
U.S. oil prices jumped above $90 a barrel.
Filtering out rumors and giving you the facts, direct from inside sources.
He's breaking down how a biorefinery works.
Taking on the story from all angles.
The people here in Port Arthur certainly feel the negative impacts of pollution.
Southeast Texas is a power city, and we're bringing the power to you. 12 News, putting Southeast Texas first.
Weren't the only ones who had reactions toward Melly's sentencing. Ever since Melly's arrest in 2019, a lot of people have had a thing or two to say about the situation. While some fans believe that he didn't take his friend's
Powell
lives,
ever
others
been
are quite
to
convinced
Port Arthur,
that he
Texas?
did. In fact, an old black member, Jay Hood, who was friends with King Von, made a video claiming that King Von told him that Melly took his friends' lives. According to Jay Hood, he wouldn't keep friends like Melly because he doesn't hang around guys who would ex their homies over trivial matters like extortion. Jay Hood for being a snitch. Others called him a liar, and they claimed that King Von never had such a conversation with him. One of King Von's cousins, Balo, revealed that Jay Hood was in fact lying, and that King Von didn't tell him anything. According to Balo, King Von never spoke about anything personal on the phone, and he believed that such a conversation must have been personal to Von, and he wouldn't make the mistake of talking about it on a call.
And I was like, man, anything with this, I was saying, I did this strictly because I knew Von was going to see for real. I did it strictly because I knew he was going to see that. That's just how I did it. I'm like, man, anything that's what they two homies, man, I can't, you know. So Von was mad.
A lot of people still want to see Melly locked up, as the evidence against him is quite convincing that he did take his friends' lives. When Melly posted a picture of him on Twitter amidst the sentencing, one tweet wrote in the comments talking about free Melly, like that man ain't two people. Clown emoji. Another tweet who is also quite convinced that the 66 pages evidence would be used to silence Melly said, "You've been saying this every 6 months since 2019. My grandpa told me this every 3 months since 2002, and he's still in prison. You aren't coming home." Family reaction to the case. The wake of Melly's trial alongside the jury selection has been a hectic ride for Melly and his family. And right now, the prosecutors aren't just after Melly's neck, but they're going after his mother, Jamie King, as well. According to reports, YNW Melly's mother was invited to the pre-trial by the prosecutors. In the first weeks of April, prosecutors served a subpoena on Jamie King, Melly's mother, ordering her to attend a pre-trial conference scheduled for April 21st. Jamie King has never been questioned or spoken to by law enforcement during the investigation of this case, has never made any statements, oral or otherwise, and has never spoken to or been questioned by any prosecutor or defense attorney. Robert Trackman, who represents King, wrote in a motion to squash the subpoena. However, on April 19th, Melly's mother, Jamie King, withdrew her motion to block prosecutors from requiring her to attend the pretrial conference scheduled for Thursday morning. The court records do not explain why prosecutors served King with the order to appear at Thursday's meeting, nor do they disclose the purpose of the meeting. If King is added to the witness list, she, like all witnesses, will not be permitted to attend the trial until after she is called to testify. Before the prosecutor served Jamie with the subpoena, she previously spoke about her son Melly getting released and how hopeful she was about his trial. Jamie, who made an appearance on the We in Miami podcast alongside her youngest son, YNWB Slime, claimed that Melly was going to be back home in May. Melly's brother, YNWB Slime, also added that the rapper could possibly be home by the end of April, if the jury selection process were quick.
No, that's jail. I mean, not jail. He's just in the county because you got to come home free money.
Melly.
However, given the postponement of the jury selection, it looks like Melly won't be making it back home in April. YNW Melly, trial delay. After almost 3 years in prison, rapper YNW Melly's trial is about to begin on Monday, April 4th. The first phase of Melly's trial, known as jury selection, began in the Broward County Courthouse. The jury selection in capital cases is most crucial as the selected jurors must be death qualified. This means that the jurors must be impartial, and they must be death qualified, and most importantly, they must not believe that death should be the capital punishment for all the time. In other words, they must be willing to consider prison time as an alternative, at least. In the first round, jurors will be asked whether they can devote time to the trial that may last weeks, broken up into a guilt phase, and, if demands is convicted, a penalty phase during which jurors will be asked to determine the punishment of life or death. However, news-making media rounds tells us that the jury selection in Melly's trial was postponed for another week to give the judge and lawyers time to work their way through last-minute motions and pre-trial hearings. As a result, the lawyers and Broward Circuit Judge Andrew Siegel worked their way through a flurry of last-minute motions and hearings. The attorneys are due back in court next Tuesday, April 26th, for more pre-trial hearings. Siegel said if everything is finished by Tuesday, jury selection could start the next day. However, he stated that it would be unlikely. The jury selection is likely to run through most of May, if not all of it. Most jurors summoned to the courthouse through the end of April and beginning of May will first be directed to the penalty phase trial of Parkland School Nicholas Cruz. Only those excused from the case will be considered for other trials. Siegel said that Damon's case received less media coverage than the Parkland and won't last as long, which should make jury selection run more smoothly, but he did not set a firm date for when selection would begin. YNW Melly speaks from behind bars. On Tuesday, April 19th, fans and loved ones of rapper YNW Melly got to see him again, and this time, he had a full grin on his face. Melly was all smiles as he appeared in Broward County courtroom ahead of his double trial. After appearing in court, YNW Melly posted a photo of himself with a beaming smile while claiming he'll be released from prison in 2022. It's about time, he wrote on Twitter. Melly's tweet wasn't the only good thing he shared with his fans from prison. Just before his phone privileges were withdrawn on Easter Sunday, April 17th, he made sure to wish his fans and loved ones a happy Easter celebration. He shared a post on Instagram to let everyone know that his phone privilege has been revoked and he could no longer make calls or have video visitations. He added that he was in great spirits and that his happiness would never be broken. Melly ended the message by wishing happy Easter to his family, friends, and fans.
Marathon is just about seeing long term, seeing a vision, understanding that nothing really worthwhile happens overnight, and just sticking to a script long enough to make something real happen. Laying a brick every day instead of trying to build a brick wall. Just lay a brick every day. Eventually you look up and you have a brick wall.
Wait a minute, Aaron, stop, Aaron.
Alexa, how many years ago did Nipsey Hussle get murdered?
Here's something I found on the web. According to Club937.com, hip-hop lost Nipsey Hussle in March of 2019 after the rapper was shot outside of his LA store, Marathon Clothing.
Ermias Astrodome, better known to the world as Nipsey Hussle.
Nah, standing at the crossroads, staring at the cosmos. A product of this gangbang. How we end up only God knows.
The first time I ever heard of Nipsey Hussle was back in 2009 on a track he was featured on with Drake. The track was called Killer, and this was at a time when Drake's buzz was just starting to begin, and he was the hottest new thing out. He's a very articulate individual in that he paints pictures with his lines. Although this verse was very dope, it didn't give me much of an incentive to go check out his own music. About a year and a half later, and in early 2011, Millionaire drops a track called When You're On, and it also features Nipsey Hussle. When Drake featured him on a track, I didn't really care too much because I wasn't such a huge Drake fan. But when Chamillionaire did it, I'm a huge Chamillionaire fan, so it made me focus on Nipsey Hussle a lot more.
I'm like get money, nigga, on a daily basis. Road to the riches, potholes in the pavements. That's why I follow every rule and regulation. Making rap money off this game I've been laced with.
And as the years went on, I watched Nipsey Hussle grow into an amazing artist, a great businessman, and a person with high integrity. But to understand how he got there, you must start at the beginning.
Nipsey Hussle has some good hair, man. Oh, wait, never mind.
Nipsey Hussle was born on August 15th, 1985 in South Central Los Angeles in the Crenshaw district. The household he grew up in, his mother and father ended up splitting,
Alexa,
but his father was
how old is Nipsey Hussle?
Regardless, and had a house about 10 minutes away. He grew up with a younger sister
Alexa,
and an older brother.
How old would someone be if they were born in 1985?
Once Nipsey got to the age of around 7 or 8 years old, he started falling in love with hip-hop slowly, and the first rap group he fell in love with
how old would someone be if they were born in 1985?
Was to get signed as a young artist and blow up. So he started writing rhymes but never really told anyone or spit them for anyone. So he just expected people to know and sign him. And when that didn't happen as a young kid, he ultimately ended up giving up on rap and said, let me go explore something else.
You know, I thought I was going to be like Crisscross, bro. Really, I thought I was going to be like a young artist when I was a little kid. I guess when I was probably 8, 9, my goal was that by the time I'm 12, 13, I'll be signed and cracking as a little kid artist. And when I wasn't, I was like, fuck rap.
Another thing that contributed to that was that when Nipsey found out how expensive recording equipment was, he ultimately decided that he could not find a way to get that money and that he would quit rapping and find a different way to make money.
Trying to put it together, like, how do you rap? Oh, you gotta get a studio. You got how much is studio equipment? Damn, this shit is expensive. Like, I used to go to my homie Jermaine's house across the street and we'd build a studio in the backyard with no equipment. We'd just be clearing the dirt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sweeping the backyard up, like, we're going to build it right here. And then, all right, it should be like 8 feet this way. You know what I'm saying? But just, like, realizing, damn, we don't have the capacity to do this. You know what I mean? We don't have to get money to do this. We can't just wing it off.
Nipsey often credited his older brother Black Sam for his hustle. He looked up to him in a lot of ways and would always see Black Sam getting money from different avenues, so he started to do his own type of little hustles as a kid.
You know, my brother was always a hustler. You know what I mean? So as a little brother, you're going to do what your big brother do. And then also just being in a situation where we needed to kind of like compensate, you know what I mean? And make up for, like, you know what I mean? Things that we felt we should have that we didn't, you know?
In the 6th grade, he actually got his first job shoe shining at Chambers Shoe Shine on Slauson Avenue. And on some days, he would end up with $100 shining shoes a day, which is a lot for a kid in the 6th grade.
I did shine shoes at Chamber Shoe Shine, coincidentally on Slauson. So I just went through every business in the neighborhood like I need a job. Yeah. And they was like, you too young, you know, you don't have a work permit, you too young. And the only one that gave me a job was a guy by the name of Paul Chambers.
Oh, okay.
And another young dude named Stephen Chambers. And it was a shoe shine parlor. I used to get $2.50 for every shoe I shone.
Yeah.
And my quota was $100 a day, so you can imagine how much.
Good money for that age.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I bought my whole 6th and 7th grade wardrobe off of that, man, and just learned about saving money and stacking and flipping like early on. So shout out to Chambers, man.
Regardless of that success, he saw his older brother have multiple hustles, so he wanted to have multiple hustles as well. So he started buying candy and selling them for twice the price while working at the shoe place, and the people didn't mind it at all. He also started mowing lawns, watering flowers, whatever he could do around the neighborhood to get an extra dollar. And the main motivation for all this hustling, Nipsey said, was because he wanted to get fresh school clothes whenever he went to school and not bother his parents for that money because he knew they were barely getting by as it is.
Definitely sold candy, shine shoes, cut grass, water lawns. Man, everything. We used to want to go swimming. At the pool, it cost $1 to go swimming. And I used to be a mission to get $1. I like to put it together. You know what I mean? And we asked the lady to help him take her groceries in, give us a quarter or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Or whatever we could do. But, yeah, that was
While doing all this side hustling, always in the back of Nipsey's mind was music. So at the age of 11 in the 6th grade, he had a friend by the name of Jermaine Jenkins who lived across the street from him, and he was the one that had a computer. He was the only one on the whole block to have a computer. So he went to his house, they ended up buying a mic, and this is when Nipsey recorded his first song ever. The first instrumental he ever rapped over was Snoop Dogg.
My homeboy Jermaine Jenkins used to live on 60th Street across the street from me. His mom, Miss Juliana Jenkins, used to take us to school every morning. We was young, like elementary. Big shit to have a computer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, we found out how to record over instrumentals.
Do you remember like
something like this, like plugged into the computer, and we used to just rap over old Snoop Dogg instrumentals? My first one was the Dogfather introduction.
Oh, okay.
The intro off the Dogfather album. But nah, that was the first record we the first time I heard myself on a beat was on a Dogfather intro.
Nipsey was also a very resourceful individual. His grandpa ended up buying Black Sam and Nipsey a computer, but they ended up breaking it. And Nipsey wanted a new one, but they couldn't afford it. So what ended up happening was his grandpa bought him a bunch of books talking about computers. He read them, studied them, and ended up buying computer parts, bringing them back to their house, and built his own computer at a young age.
Nip built our first computer. My grandfather really bought our first computer. We ended up breaking it, throwing it away. And then as we got older, when we wanted a computer, Nip would come home from school with a backpack full of computer parts. And we shared a room, and we shared bunk beds. You know, I was a little older, OCD. I used to, hey, we clean it up today. He would get pissed off. Like, you ain't going nowhere. You helping me clean the room. And he brought these computer parts. And I'm like, man, we can't keep these in this room. He's like, nah, I'm going to build a computer. I'm like, man, if you don't get out of here, man. He's like 12 years old. I'm like, man, a computer back then to me was like rocket scientist. So I'm like, there's no way. Get this shit out of here. He came back the next day with another piece of the computer. Came back. It took him about a week, maybe 2 weeks. And we just had all computer parts, loose parts on the floor. And he went to a computer auction and bought a case and bought a power supply. And I came home one day, he had the magazine that my grandfather had bought, computer magazines, and he had the computer and it was working, and he turned it on, and I could not believe this.
At the age of 12, his mom saw Nipsey writing music and even recording music, so she recommended him to a program called Watchtowers in Los Angeles. And in this program, they had a bunch of little mini studios for people to learn studio equipment. And there he learned every single thing that he could when it comes to recording music, the right amps that he needed, the right equipment, the right speakers, the right microphone, so on and so forth.
My mom, just knowing I had a passion, she found this community center at the Watchtowers and was like, they offer a class once a week. It's like electronic music. I used to catch the bus to the train and go to the Watchtowers on Saturday. and just learn. It was like a classical composer.
Yeah.
He taught us how to use an MPC, which is the beat machine, a 16-track recorder. That was my first exposure to production.
Because of that program, it actually taught him how to produce beats and engineer his own music. Because of those classes, Nipsey initially started out as a producer instead of a rapper. He used to produce for his friend Prezi Capone, who later on signed on to Nipsey's label, All-Man.
It's a real fact. I used to make beats primarily. But I used to make beats for Prezi. I don't know if anybody Prezi? Yeah, Prezi Capone. Another artist from LA from my area that's crazy. We grew up in the same studio together and all that. I used to be the producer and worked on his album as a producer, like with an MPC or Tony Rap and all that.
Despite all the side hustles that Nipsey Hussle had at an early age, he still couldn't find enough money to buy a bunch of recording equipment because back then it was very expensive to get anything. So at the age of 13, he started exploring more options, and this is when he started getting involved in gang culture. At the age of 13, he started going out in the streets more, and eventually decided to join the Rolling 60s gang, which was the most dominant gang in the Crenshaw district. And of course, with joining a gang came a bunch of different things, from getting into fights, to shootouts with people, to selling drugs. Regardless, Nipsey said that in the back of his mind, he always had a bigger plan and knew that he didn't want to be a gangbanger the whole time. He started realizing that in gangs, when he sold drugs, he made a lot more money than if he was doing it legally. And this is what gave him hope to finally stack up money to buy a studio, get studio equipment, and actually start recording his own music. Once he finally went to high school in the 9th grade at age 14, he decided to finally drop out of school. He wasn't performing well in school, having bad grades, but he had the potential to do very well. And a teacher saw this and asked him if he could perform better in school. And before he dropped out, he decided to do at least one more semester and got basically all A's and B's just for that teacher, and then he decided to ultimately drop out.
I did go to high school for 9th and 10th grade, and I was very capable, you know what I mean? But I wasn't focused on academics. I remember, I had S and D's every semester, so like one of my English teachers was like, "Oh, you smart, you smart." 5 days to do it, just because I keep going, and he was interested in what I did. He was sincere, so I was like, "I'm gonna do something," and I did really well, and that's that.
He says he decided to drop out because it gave him a lot more time to focus on hustling and to focus on creating his music. But his mom did not like that at all. When she found out he dropped out and was basically dedicating his life to the streets, she ended up changing the locks on her door and kicked him out completely. She saw that he also carried a lot of guns around him, and she wasn't fond of that either. So when he got kicked out, he decided, which was even more in the hood.
Around 9th grade, about 15, I stopped going to school and all that. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, I was on some other shit thinking I'm grown, starting to get a little money and shit, grinding and all that, selling my little weed. Mom's like, you know what I'm saying? She knew what time it was. So if I bring a gun in the house, she understand that. You know what I'm saying? But she wasn't with that, smoking weed, hanging out all day. She not with that. Cause that's, you know what I'm saying? She don't respect that. So when I was at my mama's shit, a lot of shit I could do when I left, I couldn't do over there. You know what I'm saying? So when I left, I went to live with my granny down the street on 5th Ave. Mama house is in the hood, but my granny house is in the hood. You feel what I'm saying? So when I moved over there, I was around my little money and shit. I fell under the gang of the older homies and all that. And I started banging the hood. I put on the turf and started pressing the hood. You know, like, you already know everything come with that, my nigga. If you from LA, everybody already know. If you ain't, everything that's in the streets, once you start gangbanging, you're gonna be involved with selling dope, selling weed, whatever the case may be. If it's out there, you're gonna be involved in it. So once a nigga really like jumped the broom and started pressing the 6-0 shit, it was like everything that the streets had to offer. You know what I'm saying? I signed up for these niggas I was around was going to do them, you know what I mean, do their stuff. I always kind of like, I'm not ready to go sit down for 1 year for this shit.
Which provoked him to get more into street activities. Thus came the name Thundercat.
Nigga, cause he really hood. You know, some of these rappers, they talk that shit and what they do and what they got, and it's a bunch. It's not true. Nipsey is the truth, man. The truth. I call him Thundercat. Because he's a little motherfucker with a lot of spit.
At the age in a situation where he had to grow up really fast. After being kicked out of his mom's house, he was forced to live with his grandma, and his grandma lived even more in the hood, and with no parental supervision, he decided to take to the streets. Regardless of him being in the streets, he wasn't fully involved with the Rolling 60s gang, and around this time, he wasn't doing any gangbanging, he was just out there selling whatever he could sell to sort of keep himself afloat when it came to money. He wasn't the only one getting his hustle on. Of course, his older brother was hustling in the streets as well. And at 15, Nipsey says Black Sam had about $250,000 buried in his backyard. And when they ended up digging it out, more than half of the money got molded. So he lost well over $100,000.
Pretty much an airtight, fireproof, safe, wrapped in a plastic, thinking it's going to survive. He left it down here for like a year probably, and then when he dug it up, you know, I guess the moisture of the earth.
Really got in there?
Yeah, and it molded the money.
Oh my God.
So like 100 bands out of that 250 was molded. Yeah, you know, that's a hard loss when you're young. We was a teenager. Mom was in there, we had the blow dryer out, all the money on the living room table.
Nipsey always had a passion for music in the back of his mind. And at this time, he had two close friends that were really focused on music, his friend Rimpaw and his other friend Jason. Nipsey would originally record at the Watts Towers with Rimpaw, but they eventually got a little bit of studio equipment and started recording at Rimpaw's house. Nipsey's first rap name was called Concept. He started out making conscious rap, and eventually Rimpaw and Nipsey and even Kid Ink, who nobody knew at that time as Kid Ink, made a group together called Stranded Minds.
I met Nipsey when I was like 15, Hamilton High School, 9th grade, and used to sell CDs in school. It was me, Ermias, Nipsey, my bro Evan, who was going by Rimpaw, my bro Oliver, who was Ed Wright at the time, my bro Greg, I don't remember what name Greg had at the time, and we was going to Watts. Catching like 2 buses in the train, go to Watts, and learning how to use just all this music equipment from this old head guy who just had like this program set up where he bought all these MPCs and keyboards and turntables and just different stuff and was letting us use it like for an hour. So we literally go up there for an hour. Stuff we learned from there and all the equipment we ended up just buying and taking it to my boy house, Evan, you know what I'm saying? And that's, you know, just where we all hung out, and you know what I'm saying? I didn't live over there. I lived more mid-city area and in between, or Los Angeles or whatever, the West LA area, but you know, I was there. Those were all my homies, so I was just always going back and forth.
Nip's original rap name is Concept. He used to be in a group called with my boy Oliver, Ed Wright. It was Ed Wright, and it was Kid Ink was part of it, I think, and my boy Greg. We was in a group, and it was called Stranded Minds. And we used to perform at the Malcolm X Festival in Lamert Park. Nip used to be on some real conscious. We used to all be on that. You know what I'm saying? We used to all be on that. We used to all study that shit.
Fast forward to 2001 and 2002, Nipsey was about 16 to 17 years old, and around this time is when he started getting more involved in the streets. And the streets was actually a blessing in disguise because he ended up meeting a lot of people, which later down the road helped him out with music. One of the first people he met was Rollo Styles, who was an engineer slash producer, and he ended up teaming up with Nipsey Hussle and Rimpaw and Jay Stone, and they started recording music. From there, Nipsey was in the streets and eventually ended up meeting Cuzzy Capone of becoming artists in the music industry. And Cuzzy Capone at that time knew a guy by the name of Dexter Brown, who was a photographer in the area. He liked photography a lot, but also wanted to get into music, and he had a bunch of music equipment that he did not know how to use. And Cuzzy remembered that Nipsey, Rimpaw, and Rollo knew how to use the music equipment, so he invited all 3 of them to Dexter Brown's spot. Dexter Brown welcomed them with open arms, and that's where they started to really record music. While in the streets, Nipsey also met another guy. And one day Nipsey was like, I need a rapper name. Baby Gooch then was thinking of names. One day Nipsey came back with a bunch of stuff in his backpack from hustling, and right then and there it clicked for Baby Gooch to call Nipsey Hussle.
One day we was in here, we knew, it was getting kind of hectic because we was making a lot of songs, so we knew we was finna start embarking on something, so he was like, I gotta put a stamp on my name. I just can't go by a government, just can't go by E, so I was like, all right, I got you, man. We're gonna just put it in the air, we're gonna sit back and let it come. And one day it just came to Nipsey Hussle. I don't know how it came, it just like a light bulb popped off. I was like, yeah, that's it. I knew when I first came to it, I was like, that's the name for it. Oh, no, yeah, because when we first was talking, it didn't happen right away. Then I said, I'm going to come up with a name. He left. He left and he went and did his thing. He got his grind on, basically. You know, when he came back, he had some money, he had a car, and I don't know if it was just divine intervention or what, but it just hit me. Like, Nipsey Hussle.
Shout out to my homeboy, Baby Gooch. You know what I'm saying? He, that was inspired by him. I can't take no credit for my nickname, but that was my homeboy just threw it at me. I like how it sounded, and I decided to run with it. I'm more, identified with the hustle part, but then I did my research, found out who Nipsey Hussle was. Yeah. Shout out to him.
Comedian, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Just a genius, on a lot of fronts.
Despite being involved, actually got into the Rolling 60s gang. Cuz Capone was one of the people that taught him the ins and out of the gang life, and Nipsey was getting involved into a lot of fights and some shootouts here and there, and his name was getting known well in the streets as well as his music. In 2003, Lil Kev Mack, aka Cowboy, aka Big Thundercat, was released from prison, and he was an artist at that time known as Kev Mack. So naturally, Nipsey gravitated towards him because Cowboy also introduced.
I was on parole at the time. Police surrounded the whole building. So I tell all the homies, like, look, you on parole or probation, you about to open the doors, time to go. You about to run with me, we about to go. All the ones that was on probation, parole, or whatever, we crack the gun, we break up out of there. By like, oh, little homies, they break with me, they get up out of there. The next day, all the little homies came them out, so they wanted to get some man. All the homies that ran, they got away from the police that night because they wanted to get names. So I started giving them names, and I say Thundercat for them. I all what it look like, you know what I mean? So like I said, I talked to him for a couple days, laced him on the hood, how the hood go, gave him the rules, the regulations, cars went down, I put on, squad up.
Regardless of him getting involved more into the streets, Nipsey was still focused on the music, and in 2003, he dropped his first ever mixtape called Fuck the Middleman. And unfortunately, you can't find this mixtape anywhere online. Not the cover art, not the track list, none of the songs. And Nipsey says he distributed this mixtape through the streets out the back of his trunk in the 85 Cutlass.
Me and my home. It was called The Grind Don't Stop. Mine was called Fuck the Middleman. And it was like early, like 03. You know what I'm saying? And, we were doing like concerts on the block, 10th and 63rd. You know what I'm saying? Performing. And we just had like a real local, small group of people that I was feeling what we was doing.
Nipsey, in late 2003, early 2004, ended up meeting a guy by the name of Bear Claw. Bear Claw was a guy that was heavily involved in the Rolling 60s game, but he got a bunch of artists in that local area to go to one place called Claustrophobic Studios. And in this place, a bunch got together and created a compilation project called the Crenshaw District Claustrophobic Mixtape. And on this mixtape, there was a track called Smoking That La La La, and it actually featured Nipsey Hussle.
Please stay fucking the la la la. I'm from the hood, bitches scream when I'm riding by. Nipsey always smoking that la la la. To keep my brain maintained through drama, I'm not the one. We jagging for beats on back streets with aluminum bats, toe jag the PZ. That's any jurisdiction in or out the district. 7-7 division of crime scene forensic. From my murder vision, a material witness. From 2020 to blind, not a need prescription. Words to the squad, to the back, shut up, I'm trying to feel when I handle the fact. See a nigga like me just had to attack, and in your eye, I ain't had no sack, lunch in fact. I used to flip a quarter, get like me for change, now I flip quarter pieces again.
And while at Claustrophobic Studios, Nipsey ended up meeting a guy by the name of Tiny Draws. And Tiny Draws is important because Tiny Draws would eventually introduced Nipsey to Big U. But before that happened, Nipsey, Grandpa, and a bunch of other artists that were at the Claustrophobic Studios formed a group called Hood Unit. And this group was inspired by G-Unit because they formed this group. They ended up dropping 3 mixtapes in total. However, the group ended up dismantling after some time. And in the summer of 2004, Nipsey Hussle, at the age of 18, visited Eritrea, which was the homeland that his father came from. He said he learned a lot about his roots and how they managed to do things over there. He also said it inspired him to become a philanthropist because of the different economic status. He spent 3 months over there with Black Sam and his whole family and actually celebrated his 19th birthday.
What is this? Good. Tell me, you feeling better? Good. Got man. It's in the making. Peace.
When Nipsey came back, he went straight back to the music. He immediately went to the studio over at Dexter Brown, talked with Cuzzy Capone and Baby Gooch, and they ended up together coming up with the name Slauson Boys as a group. Nipsey also decided that he wanted to make a record label called Slauson Boys as well. In late 2004, early 2005, Nipsey Hussle started doing the paperwork of filing LLCs, trademarks for the Slauson Boy record label, and while completing this, he was still known in the streets as Thundercat, moving around. But there was a moment that changed his life forever, and he decided to finally get fully into music and stop messing with the streets. The moment that fully changed him was that his homies ended up doing a shootout, and he was there as well with that shootout, and they got caught on camera. And when he got caught on camera, all of them that were in the video ended up doing a lot of time. Luckily for Nipsey Hussle, though, they couldn't identify him, and he got away from it. And it was at this moment that he realized he did not want to do a lot of time for this gangbanging stuff, and realized that he just needs to 100% leave it alone, or he's going to end up like his friends, either dead or in jail.
I had some situations in my life that, you get wake-up calls. You know what I mean? You go take your stuff away, your freedom, your life, your opportunity. You know what I mean? And you come out of those situations somehow and be like, well, I don't like how that felt. When you're looking at it, when you got your feet on in them shoes, it's different than being aware of what could happen, being in a situation where it's happened. You know what I mean? Like, you in jail, you ain't got no bail. Not that you don't got the bail money, you just don't got bail because of your case. And like, if you don't beat your case, you about to go on that long road, and then you end up beating it. You know what I mean? Or you be in tight situations where everybody you was washed up, or dead. You know what I mean? Seeing death up close, people you was just with. You know what I mean? Places you just was on your way to. And, reality kick in after a while. And you're gonna lay in the bed you make. So I knew that wasn't what I wanted as far as the final destination. Right. So I just started taking steps toward what I was passionate about, which was the music. Right. And then doors started opening. I started seeing the results of them steps. And I just followed the positivity. Yeah.
So at 19, he realized cars that he wanted, he got the girls that he wanted, but he ultimately wanted more for himself, and what he really liked was music. So he ended up selling his white Lincoln to a friend that really wanted it. He told his brother Black Sam why he sold his car and what he was going to do with the money. He told Black Sam that he wanted to take that money and invest it into his own studio. Black Sam decided to go half-half with him, and they invested an insane amount of money in studio equipment.
Lincoln, when I was 19, I had a white Lincoln on Alpinas. You know what I'm saying?
I would beat that pussy.
That was like famous LA car. That white Lincoln on Alpinas. I was, through LA and he threw that car. So everybody was trying to buy it. All the niggas I was having work and having we were trying to buy that car. And I was the only nigga with Alpinas in LA. And my homeboy Hunt had the Alpinas on his Monte Carlo. Everybody just trying to buy that car from me. And I was getting girls, I was turned up. So I was like, I ain't selling this car. This is look right now. I'm winning in this car. Yeah. And you know, I had just reached a level in my grind where I'm like, I was sitting in that parking lot leaning on my Lincolns. And I'm like, yeah, man, you know, I had reached my little adolescent dream that I had for myself. You know, like, and I'm right here. You know, I'm at that. How I saw myself, I was there. And I'm like, you know, I can either go to my next level with this, and that was to like fully pursue what I had my hands in at that time. Or I'm like, or I can fuck with what I've been having an itch to do, which was the music. And I thought D-Mac has been trying to buy the car from me. He like, man, I'm like, you still want this car, bro? He like, yup. He pulled up right here in a lowrider with a Ross bag with racks in it. Gave me the cash, I gave him the key. And then I went to, I hit my brother, I'm like, go buy some equipment. I was like, the match, I'm gonna meet you up there. So, you know, the amount I had to put that with me, and we just bought all the equipment. I was definitely
Around this time, Black Sam was selling illegal DVDs, bootlegging movies and music throughout the streets and making a lot of money. So with that investment, Nipsey could finally have his own studio to record in. And that year, he recorded the Slaughter Boy Volume 1 mixtape. The mixtape was officially released on December 13th, 2005. He gave the mixtape to all of his homies to distribute them throughout the streets, and Nipsey's sale pitch was, if it's whack, just throw it out the window.
That was my sales pitch. I'll be on Crenshaw Slough in the front of the Master Burger. I just thought there were so many people that was, check my CD out, buy my music. Yeah. I wanted to distinguish myself. So I'm like, if it's whack, throw it out the window. I'm going to sit right here. A lot of times they'll be like, just because I said that, like, man, let me check that out, huh? Yeah. And so, yeah, that was my sales pitch, you know.
Nipsey's buzz slowly started growing once again, and Big U finally got released from prison. And when he got released, he said he wanted to get into the music industry and that he was looking for artists. Tiny Draws ended up telling...
Thank you.
Chicken fries are back on the 2 for $5 mixing match at Burger King. Want them as a side?
Thank you,
A snack? Obviously. A meal? Yes. Mix and match chicken fries your way on the 2 for $5, only at Burger King.
Really enjoyed getting to know folks at Coyote. They donated a CK2610. It's a great fit for the kind of thing we do. Good deeds, dirty work, and it can be small things that can make a really big difference with the right tools. That's what the Coyote Dirt Brigade can bring.
Everybody, I'm James Whitney, and today I'm going to list 10 tattoos that I wish clients would stop asking me for. Alright, so right about now is usually when the intro would kick in, but I've been having some copyright issues, even though I bought a license for the music that I normally use in my intro. For some reason on YouTube it's been getting flagged, so I decided for now I'm just going to go ahead and stop using it. The intro is like mainly to like show people that, you know, I'm competent and that I know like what I'm talking about when it comes to tattoos, because it like shows me tattooing and has pictures of some of my work on there. But today you're not going to be able to see that, so I'm going to go ahead and pop up a few pictures somewhere in here of my tattoos. And if you want to see more of them and verify that I actually do in fact know what I'm talking about, you can go ahead and check out my Instagram. It is @JamesWhitney_Tattoo. Also, I apologize that I look a little bit raggedy today. I just got out the shower. I had a lot of stuff to do. I've been sick with COVID for a couple of weeks, so I really don't feel like combing my hair. Don't have time to do that. I'm just going to go ahead and slap this video out and get on with my day. That way I meet all my deadlines and obligations, even though I kind of feel like crap right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and get on with the video. This video, like I said in the intro, is going to be like the type of thing where I list 10 tattoos that I personally am like sick of doing and don't really want clients to ask me for anymore. These are tattoos that when people hit me up for them, and get them to get something else. So this video actually might be a little bit similar to the video that I made where I talked about tattoos that I turned down, but this one right here, instead of focusing on like cover-ups and like, I don't know, like the obvious stuff, This one is going to more focus on subject matter that is kind of like getting played out where, you know, I feel like I just don't want to do this stuff anymore because I've done a whole shitload of it, and, you know, stuff that tattoo artists kind of make fun of behind closed doors. And while I'm on that little point right there, some tattooers might specialize in the type of tattoos that I'm going to list in this video. So this is just my perspective, although it might align with some other tattooers' perspectives that might be watching the video. All right, so number one on the list of tattoos that I really wish people would stop asking me for is going to be Poseidon tattoos. And what I mean by that is, like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with, you know, who Poseidon is, but basically he's a Greek god, and he's like the god of the ocean or whatever. And for some reason, like the statues of Poseidon, I don't know where the fuck they're from, they're like in Rome or Italy or some shit. For some reason, it's become a huge, huge trend. Getting Poseidon tattoos like up the ass all the time, like constantly. Everywhere I go, I see a Poseidon tattoo. Every single time I flip through my Instagram, I see another like bearded statue tattoo or whatever. And don't get me wrong, when this tattoo first started getting done, I thought it was really cool. You know, I like it when people replicate like the classical art, like the statues and stuff like that. They're really fun to tattoo in general. But this particular piece of subject matter, Poseidon specifically, and actually specifically this reference right here, is one that I'm totally sick of seeing and totally sick of doing. And I just don't know why people are getting it so often. Like, most people that get it are like these like bro jock dudes or whatever that really just don't got no creativity and don't know dude on them or whatever, which is kind of ironic to me because like that's the trend right now, is like getting these muscly like statues of weird dudes all over your body or whatever. And it just seems a little weird to me, like as a man and shit, just have a bunch of like random like beards all over you or whatever, you know what I mean? So please stop asking me for the Poseidon tattoo. I'm not doing that shit no more. It's been probably like 2 years since I've agreed to do one of those tattoos, and they're played the fuck out. So do yourself a favor, if you're like thinking about getting that as a tattoo, maybe like consider it a little bit. The fact that like everybody else is getting that right now, because I bet you in 20 years people are going to everybody has the same tattoo as you, and it's going to be one of those things that you chuckle about when you get a little bit older and you're like, yeah, you know, I should have been more original with that. All right, okay, so number 2 on the list is actually pretty closely related to this, and it is lion tattoos. So I don't know, you know, why everybody wants to get a lion tattoo. I feel like, you know, if you're a Leo, then it kind of makes sense. Just like with the Poseidon, like if you like are a surfer or some shit, if you like to sail a lot, that makes sense. But you know, everybody and their mama is getting a fucking lion tattoo right now, and I'm super sick of doing those too because there's a couple of reasons, all right? One of them is because there are only reference photos out there. If you're getting a realistic lion, there's a very limited amount of pictures to like choose from when you're going to like, you know, replicate that onto the skin or whatever and translate it to a tattoo. And not only that, but if you want a lion that is like the one that's like making like the growling, like the roaring face or whatever, then, you know, there's only like maybe 1 or 2. And honestly, like this picture, I'm gonna post it up right here. That's the only one that's like extra cool, where it's not just like a lion like yawning and it looks like it's roaring, but it looks maybe like it's actually like a pissed off lion and it's clear. And that's like really the only one available. And I've already done that tattoo a couple times, and I feel like Real Realism has also done that tattoo many times, and yeah, I feel like maybe some people don't get sick of it, but most people that I know don't enjoy tattooing lions over and over and over. And that's the second reason why I wish people would stop asking me for this shit, is because lions aren't very enjoyable to tattoo. And the reason why is because the mane is very like disorganized, and there's a lot of information in the reference, so it's kind of like, I don't know, it's difficult to make it look cool, and even if you're able to, it's not very fun to make it look cool, at least for me. So I really don't want nobody to ask me for lions anymore. That type of 4 years ago. And yeah, I mean, I enjoy doing animal portraits, but fuck a lion. All right, number 3 also kind of fits into this like category of like your I'm gonna be a tattoo bro starter kit or whatever, and that is pocket watches and compasses. So if you know, If you're putting the lions with the fucking roses, with the pocket watches, with the compasses, with the Poseidons and shit, damn, you were like really shooting yourself in the foot in terms of originality, because everybody's got a fucking sleeve like that. And, you know, don't get me wrong, roses, and they're fun to tattoo. Like, they're all kind of a little bit different, and the process of building them up visually is really fun. But the same is not true for pocket watches and compasses. And the reason why is because there's so many fucking ellipses in a pocket watch or a compass. What I mean by that, by an ellipse, is like a circular shape, like a perfect circle or a perfect oval or something like that. And, you know, there's a lot of room for error. So definitely, I've done many pocket watches. I can do a clean one. I can do some real nice ones. But they're so, like, rigid to tattoo. You gotta like really hold the machine tight the whole time that you're in there, like carving out those edges and really sculpting those lines and ellipses, that like the whole process is just very like tight hold to me and very stressful. And I feel like they don't really look cool enough in the end to justify going through that trouble. And you know, not only that, but there's just so many small details in there that even if you're good at doing a pocket watch, like there's going to be little errors in there and little flaws and stuff. So that's like the type of shit that us tattoo artists will lay awake at night and like think about, a little line, a little wiggle right there, with difficult projects or whatever. But pocket watches are like unnecessarily difficult, and they don't really look cool enough to justify how hard they are to do and how unenjoyable they are to do for me personally. All right, number 4 is going to be trees. So tree tattoos are something that, at least in my shop, historically, with all the people that have worked there, you know, we've made fun of tree tattoos quite a bit behind closed doors after clients ask for them or whatever, and then walk out the door after everybody tells them no. You know, I'm not talking about like trees like in a landscape. Trees and they have like that vertical, like linear quality, and they're kind of like a secondary piece of subject matter, like behind other shit. Like if it's a nature scene and there's like trees in there and shit, that's cool. But I'm talking about like a single tree. Like if you want one tree on your body, specifically the type of tree that is like the one that kind of, I don't know, looks like broccoli and shit. Like if it's like one of those trees, they just don't fit good anywhere on the body. Except for like maybe the back. Who wants like a big ass tree on the back? I don't know, but I ain't trying to do that shit. Yeah, they just look really stiff, and it's real difficult to translate a tree to a tattoo and make it look cool too. You know, there's only a couple of people that I know of that are good at that shit. You know, Oak Adams comes to mind, but he does more of like a flowy, like dead tree type of thing. But yeah, anything that's like tree of life, anything that's like the type of tree that is like an oak tree or something like that, is definitely something I'm not interested in. I think most tattooers would agree that those are not enjoyable tattoos to do either, because let's face
ugly old grandma.
At Domino's, we are all about variety. Pizza and oven-baked sandwiches? Delicious. Pasta and bread twists? Delicious. Choose any two or more and order now.
I'm crime writer Martina Cole, and I'm here to find out more about the girls living in the gang heartland of the USA. This is the Los Angeles that everybody knows, the land of the rich, the famous, and the beautiful.
Got a one gunshot wound just to the right of the midline.
I'm gonna fuck your ass up. What I got on me is gonna go in you. There's nothing that you're gonna be able to do.
You shoot at me, pow, my ass right back at you.
The California Department of Justice reckon there are 86,000 gangsters here. Some of these are girls, and I've come to Los Angeles to meet them. They're organised and widespread with a rap sheet from drug dealing to auto theft, from robbery to murder. There's 3 firearm-related deaths every day. Girls were part in all of this.
That was such your titty.
I want to find out what the whole gang story is here in LA. So I'm off to meet William Dunn, an expert on the gangs of Los Angeles. William has been dealing with the city's gangs for nearly 20 years. So just how bad it is, the gang problem in LA.
Think of Los Angeles as being Hollywood, going all the way back to the 1920s and movie stars, Rudolph Valentino and such. But we've had a gang problem here for just as long, since the 1920s. It's grown over the years to the 1980s, 1990s, when we had some of our worst years, when we had over 1,000 murders. But now the gang problem has actually shrunk. We're down to about 350 murders a year.
So Bill, what do the girls get out of being in a gang? You know, you feel safe, you're part of something. Do you think that's a big part of it?
Definitely. Violent projects. The women are engaging in survival sex just to be liked by the gang.
I've never heard the expression survival sex before.
Unless they come from a prominent gang family or they have brothers who are prominent in the gang, if they're just a lone female going into the gang, they're very much abused and used here in the United States.
Ow!
Of course, one big difference with the gangs here is the prevalence of firearms. And there's a specialist unit in the middle of downtown Los Angeles, where they find LA's leading trauma unit. So I can see for myself the devastation that gunshot actually causes. In 2008, over 2,000 serious trauma cases came through this unit at the California Hospital Medical Center. 20% of those were women. The chief of emergency surgery here is Dr. Hineker.
We get a Compton here, Watts here.
Ow!
We do get a lot of female.
If you don't get out of my room, I'm
all
gonna
these
whip your
three
ass.
areas.
Ow!
Females who've been shot.
Female who've been shot. These females actually beat each other up, and they usually get beat by the male, and not just the physical assault. Part of those inductions includes sexual intercourse, which really traumatizes them. A girl jumping a girl, usually they don't only fist fight, they actually even stab each other with a knife to toughen each other up.
Almost as soon as we got there, a gunshot victim was rushed in. We've just had a call, it's a level 1, so we're going to find out now exactly what's going on. Gunshot wounds are classified as level 1 incidents.
High blood pressure? Good. Okay.
We've only been down here for about 5 or 10 minutes since first code 1 and the second one is now coming in. So that's 2 in literally 15 minutes.
Okay, I got a 1 gunshot wound just to the right of the midline.
I spoke to the police a few minutes ago and I said, do you think that was a gang shoot? And then he says upwards, well, oh God, yes. Apparently from where they were in the park, etc. That's the assumption anyway. Do you think this guy will be okay?
I surely hope so. It may be a long night.
I think it's best that we leave it here, really. He's going up now to the OR. The other guy who was shot near him has gone into triage. So they can wait and see now how many bullets he's got. He'll definitely have to be operated on. My overall feeling with all this tonight is that there's 2 poor mothers who are going to get a knock on the door tonight to say that their son's been shot. And I can't even imagine what that must feel like. This is the kind of stuff that I write about, but it had been a long time since I'd been this close to it. After 2 days in LA, I've already survival sex within gangs, and girls ended up in a trauma room, sometimes with fatal gunshot wounds. It was time to take my first steps into gangland LA. What puts Los Angeles gangs into a league of their own is the prevalence of guns. In fact, in LA County, there are 2,500 gunshot victims every year. To get a better insight into the damage guns can do, I met up with William Dunn again. I've come out to a firing range in women on the street tend to use.
Maybe sunshine and maybe rain. But as for me, I'll wait and see. And maybe it'll bring my love to me. Who knows? Who knows any better than I?
Plus flight credit. Your mom needs a flight. If there was only a way to transfer it.
Oh, look at that. There is.
Get a flight credit you can give away. Introducing the all-new Wanna Get Away Plus fare.
These are the kind of weapons that are available not only on the street, but they're also available just for purchase. This right here is the .22 caliber semi-automatic pistol. You can buy these for about $50 or $60 in the United States.
Really? And this is a very small, so...
Or, you know, along the thigh.
You do a lot of damage.
Depends on where you're hit. 22 caliber bullet will kill you just as dead as a 45 caliber bullet if it hits you in the right place. This is a small frame 45 caliber pistol. Put it in your hand and you'll see that that is made for a lady. Yeah.
But it's look.
Yeah.
Again, it fits perfectly, doesn't it? So this gun was made specifically for women.
That's more of, yeah, for a woman, or say a concealable firearm, something to hide on your person. One or two of the guns?
Yeah.
Down. Just remember, keep them pointed downrange. Never point them at anything that you're not willing to shoot. Always treat guns as if they're loaded. Then when you're ready, put your finger on the trigger and slowly pull it back with the tip of your finger until it actually fires. Go ahead and pick it up.
I hold it here, don't I?
Yeah, hold it there. Put it into the black.
It's so fast. I didn't expect it to.
Remember, just keep the gun pointed forward. And you got two more. There you go. Okay, go ahead, put the gun down. Let's take a look at our target.
Shaking. I can't even imagine how powerful that is. It's so small. And you feel the whole thing go through your whole body.
There.
I missed him.
And you missed him up there. Which isn't actually bad for your first 3 shots that you've ever taken. That's not bad.
I decided to have a go with the biggest gun. It's unbelievable to think that this weapon is available to buy on the high street.
Okay, this next one will pull off a lot quicker because now the hammer is back. That's okay, just put it down. It's okay. Yeah, just lay it down. It's fine.
I don't like that one very no. Fast.
Okay.
I felt with this, you know, that's too loud. It's just too. I think you could do so much damage.
Right.
I realised how easily and quickly.
And understand, this weapon here is the one that's favored in the streets as a semi-automatic pistol. You can see how easy it is. You just start pulling that trigger. It'll fire them as fast as you can pull the trigger.
I've got to say that was the most amazing experience in one way because I never ever thought I'd ever be shooting a gun. My hand's aching and I felt every jolt of that, so God knows what it must be like if it hit you, if the bullet actually hit you. I wanted to hear about the impact that these weapons can have. My contact said they could put me in touch with a girl who'd had first-hand experience of gang warfare out here on the streets. It meant me heading into Watts, the powder keg that ignited the 1965 LA race riots. It's law enforcement agencies. This is Joanna. She's affiliated to the Bloods and wears their red gang colours, although she has never jumped into the gang as a member. Her history means that it's dangerous for her to even be seen on some streets in her own neighbourhood.
Like, every hood has their own borders, but sometimes you just end up in another person's hood because it's so close together. Like, in LA, you have gangs they're right on top of each other. Like, you may have Bloods right here, and the street over there's Crips, and the street over there's another Blood hood. So it's like, you know, the gangs are really together. Order, but there's not, because you will end up in someone's hood because it's so small.
And what would happen is you say went to a liquor store and the other gang was there. Would that be enough to start something?
Yeah, if they know you, because this really is gangs everywhere. And then this is my building where I grew up at, where I lived. My friend, I had 3 friends that actually got shot underground right here. One of them died.
Right at the front?
No, inside. 2 of them got shot. Down there, inside the parking lot.
What was that all for?
Gang. It was crazy. It was like something you see in the movie.
Is that the first time you'd ever seen anybody shot?
No, but it was the first time I ever seen something like that. Like, so many people shot in one place.
So close up.
Yeah.
Giovanna's story was shocking, and she was only on the edge of the gang scene. Finding current active girl gang members but we got a slice of luck. I'm on my way this morning to meet a woman called Sylvia Nunn. Her street name is Rambo. She's one of the most notorious gangbangers in the female community. I'm meeting her this morning at her church, which I'm pretty glad about because apparently she is pretty dangerous. Sylvia Nunn is an OG, or original gangster. She says she held up her first gas station, aged 8. She got her street name Rambo because of her armed race into enemy territory. She served time for attempted murder, assault, and grand theft auto. But now, she claims she's a reformed character.
The life I live today is in church. So I don't want to get caught up and wrapped up in shoes because there are some other kids that I gangbanged with on their side and against their side. So this was the most beautiful church I thought I could come back to and tell my story.
I'm really looking forward to experiencing this.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. The spirit is definitely in this church.
Sylvia told me that being in a gang was like religion. Even if you don't go to church, you can still keep the faith. She gave up her violent past years ago, but she was still a Bloods general. And gang violence seemed to be a recurring theme.
Gangs are literally destroying our community, destroying our country. And we know that God can change it. The church has an obligation.
Are there many ex-convicts in there now?
You got Powers and Crips mixed in there. But they holding hands at the altar today praying.
People change us, change the world.
Maybe they'll hear something and hear that they ain't hearing in Snoop Dogg. Because when you rap, all you telling about is where to go find the best dope at, how to clap your booty. Here they telling you how to get ready.
Yeah.
Because as sure as you live, you die. Welcome to even come see my hood.
I'd love to.
And you're more than welcome for me to take you there.
That'd be phenomenal. And I'll be safe.
We've gone with a general and you with Jesus.
It was a strange encounter. What I'd heard about Sylvia's violent past didn't seem to fit with the person I'd met at church. It was was hard to tell how far she'd stepped away from gang life. On her own turf, and I wasn't taking any chances. I'm on my way today to meet Sylvia in the hood. I'm a bit nervous about it. I've got to go bulletproof first. I've got two lovely guys, Rael and Tim, who are going to be looking after me today. They're armed. I hope there isn't going to be any dramas today or anything kicking off or whatever happens in the hood. And I'm looking forward to finding out if they really got. Sylvia's blood gang hung out in Luders Park, one of the gang hotspots in Compton.
Hi, General in your hood, too. You came to my hood. Well, welcome into the squad power room.
Thank you. Sylvia had invited some members of the Bloods, Danielle, Lakeepa, and Tikea, the girls from church yesterday.
You're smoking that shit.
Got the munchies.
You're smoking that shit.
Sylvia told me they were in the Pyru Bloods gang. What is this? Where are we now?
We're in Luders Park, which is a blood headquarters park.
Yeah.
No Crips are allowed nowhere in this park unless you're doing some cowardly. And that's driving by, shooting anybody.
Are you safe when you're all here together? Or do you have to have people checking out, making sure that...
And see the difference in them now, and when I bang, I wouldn't go get a home. Because I stayed strapped.
Yeah.
Because I was raised.
Yeah.
May I have 3 of them.
Yeah.
Because I ain't got time to check the clips. I just got to bail out. Boom, 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 boom. You know what I'm saying? And so, I kept my own heat on me.
Yeah.
I don't go get no niggas. Excuse my profanity. I don't go get no black brothers to come do my shit. You shoot at me, pow, my ass right back at you.
Yeah.
I got a one-hitter quitter. I learned how to shoot from my dad. He taught me how to shoot rabbits. You have to hit a rabbit in the head.
Yeah. So you like it in the head?
Yeah. Because I watch my back 24/7.
Yeah, I know.
I watch my back. What you would become to kill me? They have stripes. Because what am I? I'm a general. I'm at the top of the line. Even though I'm saved,
that makes you a target, really, to this. People say, well, I'm going to go and kill Sylvia because I'll get my stripes and I'll be a big man. Or big nigga.
No, I won't be no woman. Ain't no woman finna fuck with me in no type of way, form, fashion, or matter. They would send one of their homies that wanted to be a big nigga in the game. One night we were in the house sleeping, and my mother woke up, she said, I smell fire. And when I opened the door, fire just whished it. Whole gas around it, so we got the fire out and everything. Then we went and got them, but we didn't go burn them.
Take a trip beyond your backyard. Compare your way there. I'm the smartest credit cards for you on NerdWallet.
Sylvia still seemed really into gang life, like it was part of her DNA. I wondered what it was like for these young bloods following in her footsteps. Do you automatically sort of carry a weapon when you leave the house? Is it part of your routine?
Yeah, it's part of your dress.
Shower, put your makeup on, get your gun.
Check your purse and see what you have in case somebody trips.
It's basically, you don't know what's going to happen that day. You being the bank, as a gangbangers, your life is in jeopardy that day. Everybody knows. No day walk out that door, you don't know what's going to happen.
I started bringing pepper spray because a nigga jumped out the car on me.
Everybody know the first weapon I stole it. I ain't gonna say where, but I had hold of a gun. I was gonna use it, put it in the wrong hands, for the wrong people. I thought smart, but at the same time I didn't. I sold it. Quick butt, made 200, 250.
Somebody got it.
And I had it in my purse. I came way from Long Beach to put it in my purse, looking smooth with it. Nobody know. I'm dressed nice like a nice little girl the whole time. I'm stuck in my face.
No one would treat you like that. You think the girls are treated with respect by the males and things?
Yeah.
You are all girls.
Mm-hmm. The ones that are with the business, because some girls get put on a different way. Like some girls will fight to get put on, and some girls will have intercourse.
And now the ones you look down
on. With multiple people.
Do you look down on them and you say,
yeah, we don't fuck with them niggas for hoes.
Some people's gang bang just because they want to be there. Some girls say, I want to be where the boys at. Yeah. So You know what I mean? Let me do what they want me to do, so I can feel, I guess, wanted, special. I don't know how. Some girls to me just don't got it all in mind. You know? You feel me? Some people just don't have it.
Do you ever think to yourself though, sometimes, I wish I hadn't chosen this because, why did I choose this road?
The thing is though, you don't have to kick it. And I didn't know that kid. I wanted to be that official bitch. Because you gonna get banged on regardless if you bang or not. Yeah. That's how I feel. We black and the Mexicans grow up on us and bang on us.
As an invited guest of a general, I felt pretty safe up to now. But Sylvia decided to raise the stakes. She had a contact in a local rival Crips gang.
And this is them. What's up with you? Yeah. He said, come through. What you want me to do, y'all, at the store? You can do it on the street if y'all want to. I don't know if y'all had enemies on there. We would rather y'all do it in the street. You know, walking down the street. Okay, I'm on my way now.
This was amazing. However, for Sylvia, this would mean going into the heart of enemy territory.
Are you safe now to go to the Crip neighborhood? Are you really safe now?
God give you sense to use. So even in this park, I watch my back. Because I know what my life been like in the past. People forgive, but they don't forget. And I done a lot of things. If I'd have known better, I'd have done better. The reason I feel I'm safe is because I'm saved. And I'm not afraid of death.
Into a territorial jigsaw. Different gangs are neighbouring blocks, and boundaries are violently fought over. Often it all kicks off just because someone's in the wrong place at the wrong time. I was hoping that this wouldn't happen to me. I've spent my life in some of the toughest streets in London, but I've got to admit, even I'm beginning to feel a bit nervous here. It all happened very quickly. Within minutes, we'd crossed the block and into the Crip stronghold. It was pretty tense. Sylvia steps back. Crips usually wear blue, but each offshoot has its own characteristics. This gang's colour was green. There were no girls. The Crips looked on edge, and I could see that they were drinking. I also knew I didn't have much time.
I've always got to come from my neighborhood picking up after this is a Crip night.
Yeah. So what I didn't hear you say?
We've just come now into this neighborhood. This is a Crip neighborhood, yeah?
Yeah.
So how do you define the boundaries? I mean, we don't know any of this, so you're going to have to explain it to us. How do you define the boundaries?
Oh, shit, we identify by streets, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Central, Wilmington, Prilla, that's the hood right there, you know what I'm saying? Everything else is enemy territory, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. What's the role of a female in your gang? You know, like the girls, what are their roles?
Oh, shit, basically over here, you know what I'm saying? I could be supposed to just play her position, you know what I'm saying? All the time, do all the crazy. Basically, they do whatever we want them to do, you know what I'm saying? We feel like they want, you know what I'm saying? Hold some shit for us, or they just basically be here to be decoys, you know what I'm saying? Whatever, be decoys, you know what I'm saying, you know?
What's a decoy?
Like, you know what I'm saying? You know.
What?
I should have decoy, you know, somebody who fake the phone, you know what I'm saying? Somebody who, you know what I'm saying, want to put themselves out there, so, you know what I'm saying, for the fate of the pack, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know, they be the one, like, if the boys to pull up right now, they be the one to cause the most attention, so the nigga could get away, you know what I'm saying, or whatever.
Oh, I see.
Like, the cuz had the burner, I'll be the decoy. If he had the burner, the police used to pull up right now, you know what I'm saying?
I'll scream and shout.
I'll be the motherfucker that be the most active, so my nigga can slide off and get away with the burner, you know what I'm saying? That's the decoy. All that.
And what else do the girls do?
What the girls do? Oh shit, basically fuck the girls, you know what I'm saying? That's what we do with them, you know what I'm saying? They just here to please the thugs, you know what I'm saying? Please the niggas, you know what I'm saying?
Are there any girls though? You know,
You're all in the damn, what's it called? Y'all watched it. Y'all watched it while I'm at work.
On this side company, I'm saying a girl.
They're in the hamper.
Wrong and shit. Her only wrong.
So girl couldn't become like.
Everybody uses them and don't watch them.
OG, you know what I'm saying? But only way she can become an OG or whatever is to
Girls, you know, from your neighbourhood start going out with the blood from another neighbourhood. Would that bother you? Would you take that as an insult?
We knocking that shit though, hell yeah. We ain't liking that shit, but you know, that's some small shit. You know what I'm saying? We on big fish type shit. That's some shit. She don't be, you know what I'm saying? She ain't really down for her crown if she doing shit like that. You know what I'm saying? She supposed to know her fucking role. She ain't supposed to fuck with no outsider. You know what I'm saying? So if she doing that shit, she showing signs of weakness. You know what I'm saying?
While we were talking, we were interrupted. This guy's the leader of the Crips in this neighbourhood. There was no
free table.
He didn't try to talk to me, but he wanted to make sure we all knew which hood we were in and who was in control.
Hey, look. Beat niggas up, shooting, whatever, killing, whatever, right there. Look, we with it, look. 282 heading west side, alright, gang, nigga. Let my homies come home. We out here too deep, so what? The squad ain't right yet. So what? We out here though, ready for summertime, whatever. What y'all saying? We sagging though, real low. Got my nigga Cash right here. Young rapper on his own, you know what I'm saying?
Although the atmosphere seemed friendly, our security were keen that we didn't overstay our welcome. We'd already attracted more than enough attention. It was a strange experience to be there, and it was a strange experience to meet them knowing what they're capable of. I've got to say they were very, very respectful towards me, and they spoke to me. No girls turned up though. But after hearing the boys talk, I've got a feeling I know why. I don't think they have that much respect for women in that game. So I think you need to dig just a little bit deeper to find out a bit more. The meeting for the Bloods and the Crips had opened my eyes. The Crips boys had little respect for the girls they met, yet the Pike Pyru girls thought being in a gang gave them status and power. So is this why girls get involved in such a violent way of life? I needed to talk to someone who could give me a broad perspective on girls in gangs. I'll come see a guy named Skip. Gang life. Skip is a member of the Rolling 20 Bloods and still wears their red colours, though he became inactive in 1998. I'd found that even when gang members aren't involved in violence anymore, they still often remain connected to the gang. Compton sort of got a reputation, but I really wasn't expecting he was kind of hard-bearing here.
Well, this is really necessary because at night we have no, so we might have to put the bars up to make sure that people don't come in during the middle of the night and steal all that stuff.
So even though you're trying to help the community, you still have to be safe.
Yes, opportunistic people. You know, some people come by, check on the door. I've actually been here one night when a young man just actually walked in because the doors weren't closed all the way. So it's necessary to have these bar gates to stop people from taking all of our equipment out here.
Skip spent 7 years behind bars for gang-related offences, so he's someone who I hope could tell me about girls in gangs.
Oh, definitely.
Even inside the second call offices, the casual gun violence of LA had left its mark.
This is Karen right here. She's a victim of violence herself. Here in the city of Compton, but she's been shot several times.
How did that happen to you, Karen?
Well, what happened, we were standing around talking. We were about to go out, and we were just laughing, having a general conversation. And some guys drove up in a truck, and they just popped out the back of the truck, and they started shooting AK-47, a 9mm, and a 380. I got shot right here on my leg, my back, and my cousin. And it was just one of those things, I guess.
And that happened to you a lot?
Yes, indeed. The city of Los Angeles, the numbers have gone down a lot, but we probably have somewhere around the area of 300, 400 homicides a year. So that doesn't include all the shootings where the people don't die. People like Karen are fortunate enough to survive.
But why would you randomly want to shoot credit girls in the street?
Well, I believe, this is just my opinion, that they probably believed that they were part of the gang. This area here is the east side of town. Yeah, hookers, prostitutes, a lot of drug dealing. This is one of the functional areas of Compton on the east side.
And what do you do here?
Well, here at this center, we have an open door policy. We do outreach to all the young people in the community. We help them provide resources, whatever resources they need, some educational, some job training, whatever we can offer for them as far as to reduce violence. Let them see that they live in dysfunction, help them with this domestic violence, racial violence, gang violence, just so that we don't have. I also, with them being gang-related, gang involved, I want them to see the need for themselves to do something different, rather than just be stuck in the community, but to have a goal and a dream, whether it's about education, whether it's about a career, having a family or whatever. But I would never tell them to get out of the gang. I just try to help them be better people.
Have you noticed any change in the girls in gangs?
Yeah, the change in roles and girls in gangs is when they become more violent. The history of girls in gangs were normally where they were just dating, they would go to parties, a lot of fights would start because of them. Nowadays, the girls are actually the violent offenders when they go to different parties and the gang fight starts just because of girls who look at each other crazy or
Do you think they feel the need to be more violent than the men to be accepted?
Yeah, they definitely have to, girls definitely have to portray a harder image to be looked at as strong. If not, they'll be taken advantage of, as being used or, just for sex objects. So they definitely have to show dominance. They have to have their individuality. They have to stand up and out there.
I've been in LA for a week now. Despite what Skip told me, I couldn't get my head around why girls would choose to get mixed up in this way of life. A current gang member agreed to meet with me. She knew talking to me might have serious repercussions, so she hid her face.
For the most pet-friendly rentals anywhere on Apartments.com. Oh, you got it.
Usually always carried like a shame kind of stuff, anywhere, because I've been out here where they try to stab me, where they try to hit me in the face with a hammer, They try to shoot at us,
These are your enemies?
These are my enemies. Yeah. They do the same thing, If they kill one of your homies, it just keep going on and on,
How did you get into a gang?
I just like the violence, I like the thrill that it gave me when I was gonna go catch some fool slipping, or when I was running from the police or something, It gave me a thrill, and I like that.
Do you still find it hard to control that anger, that violence?
Like somebody pushing me buttons and that has disrespected me so bad that I feel that I have to react violently, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna fuck your ass up, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck, what I got on me is gonna go on in you. And, there's nothing that you're gonna be able to do. If my game doesn't get along with their game, then I'm gonna react a certain way.
Although she seemed deep into one time talking to her, I started to think that this wasn't the whole story. Will you ever leave the game behind you?
If I get out of the neighborhood where I go and I get recognized, it's still gonna be the same shit. If I get out, those enemies are gonna see me and they're still gonna do what they're gonna do, So I might as well just stay in. I wake up and I hear all the noise in the neighborhood. And at night, you know, I hear all the noise, the helicopters. I feel like I love this place, you know. That's where I grew up, you know. And all these people who've been through things, and when you hear the gunshots, when you hear the helicopter, when you see a police messing with somebody, it just makes me want to be like, damn. You know, like, I know there's something, a different type of lifestyle where you don't have to keep losing the people that you love.
The prospect of leaving the gang behind. Girls have a lifelong gang allegiance because of where they live and who they are. It wasn't as if she hadn't thought about getting out. It was just that she stood to lose too much. Friends, status and protection. There's an estimated 86,000 gang members in LA. Hard facts about girl gangs are difficult to find, although they are generally thought to exist on the edge of male gangs. However, from what I've seen, it's clear that these women are unavoidably caught up in the gang culture. Gang districts is a project that might be a light at the end of the tunnel. This is Homeboy Industries, set up over 20 years ago by Father Greg Boyle.
Parenting at 10, financial literacy at 10 to 11, AA at 11:30.
Here, gang members are rehabilitated by being given jobs, courses, and some kind of structure in their lives. Each morning, roll call makes sure that 340 homeboy and homegirl employees are sticking to their tasks.
That when you're wearing our logo, that you keep in mind how important that is not to sully our reputation. Dean, this was born 21 years ago when I was pastor of Dolores Mission, which is the poorest parish in the city. It had 8 gangs at war with each other, and I buried my first young kid killed because of this in 1988, and I buried my 165th last Saturday.
What brings girls here?
With female gang members, they're the most disparaged, the most female to find her way into a gang is to be really at the lowest rung of the totem pole. They're just it's not a place of respect. So people find their way to us, and as a second chance, but who gave them their first chance, you know? And so they know that it's a place of hope, and hope is foreign to them.
Bertha is another gang member. She knows just how important real jobs are.
You know, you have to keep in mind that these have been our first jobs that a lot of us have made. So we've never worked before in our lives, and all we knew how to do was use drugs and, you know, slang drugs in the street and, you know, all this other stuff. So it was easy money for us to get here. We work for it, and we look forward to coming to work. And somebody's giving us a chance. They're not judging us. They're giving us an opportunity.
The Homegirl Cafe only employs people with a criminal record. For girls like Stephanie, it's their first chance of a normal life. Stephanie's 20 years old, and thanks to the gangs, her life has been littered with jail spells and violence.
I started gambling when I was 12. I was a kid, 9, 8, but I was seeing little stuff that my mom and dad was doing, selling drugs, fighting, gang banging. I used to be in cars with my dad when I was like 10, and he'd go shooting, and I'd just be in the passenger seat. But then it was just something I got old enough to get put on my hood, the hood that my dad and my mom was from, where I'm from now, East Coast Streets. And that's how I just got put on. I got put on by my mama, my auntie, and 2.
I heard that word, big pussy.
They jumped you, didn't
They
they?
jumped me in when I was 12 years old. So I got jumped into the game.
What was the turning point for you, Stephanie? What made you decide to change your life?
What made me really decide to change my life was the night I got shot and where inside my side, and it came out my back. I was ready to go. I was ready to give up on myself. And at the same time, Father Greg came in there and talked to me. He just gave me a sense of myself, like it's not too late for me to change. This is just something that happened for me to realize that the streets is not for me no more. Getting shot is not for me. Getting shot is not for nobody. Losing your life for something that's worth not losing for a hood that we bang, where it's really not nothing. They not giving you. They don't do nothing for you. They don't do nothing for me now.
Do you feel now that you're living a life you should have lived?
Right now, to be honest with you, I just live my life day by day. And I wake up every morning ready to come here. When it's time for me to leave, it'll be some days I don't want to leave. Like I just be wanting to stay here. Because I don't want to go back to what I know and what I used to go through. And when I go home, I don't like going home. So I just stay here as long as I could. I stay here to 6, 7 o'clock, talk to my boss, talk to anybody. Because I don't want to go back to my hood. I don't want to go back to my hood. My hood ain't where it's at for me. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of selling drugs. I'm tired of robbing people. I'm tired of going back and forth to jail. I just got out of jail right now. Any friends to this gang life, and it's not worth it. And I refuse to lose myself to it. So I give up on gang banging. All my gang tattoos that I got, it hurts me when I wake up in the morning and I look at my tattoos. I wish I could just put them all off. But then at the same time, it's a story of my life.
Stephanie's story really got to me. I hoped she could turn her life around. As my time in LA is coming to a close, I'm experiencing a range of emotions. Sadness not to himself, but to everybody around him. But I've also felt a great sense of hope, because there's some very good people here who are doing all in their power to get these girls off the streets, stop them from gangbanging, and bring them back into the workplace, so hopefully they can finally make something of their lives.
No more. Please, sister, no more. Please, no more. Oh, please. Oh.
didn't come here to be afraid.
Wait and see. You worry. I'll see.
Men only like a boss.
She got some nice tits. I would fuck the shit out of her. If any wrestler I wanted to date, it would be her. But she's already married. He kind of looks like Elias. Ezekiel. Ezekiel don't really look like Elias, but the way he does. I know he's Ezekiel.
The following contest is a tag team extreme rules match. And at the combined weight of 482 pounds, the Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels and the King Triple H D-Generation. This match is the WWE Universe as it's I think it is destined to deliver. Gentlemen, This match is high stakes, high risk, and high reward.
They don't really show.
What a punch. That's how you stop your opponent. Big overhand. Oh, this isn't going to be good. Gut bust.